are.
Yes. It's been so long since we've seen you.
I know. I mean, it will be for them.
Right. For us, we just did
the April block. We're going to.
Which is why we're still wearing the same outfits.
Yes, we plan this, so we wear the same clothes every time. No,
yeah. Wouldn't that be funny if all of our
every video was
blocks,
the same?
We all, yeah.
Well, I am sure I have not worn this shirt in a while because I found it in my laundry room. So it was like buried. It's like, oh, I like that one. Let's pull that back out.
Absolutely. All right. So we are going to be working on the May block. And this one is all like folded.
It's folded fabric piecing in the hoop.
Yes. Or kind of like paper piecing in the hoop if you've done that.
Depending on what you're used to and what words, what terminology you've used in the past.
Right. So it's applique, but not applique. And this one is done a little differently. So we basically have a
let you explain.
It's a pinwheel, and we basically need to do the top of the pinwheel and the bottom of the pinwheel, but they kind of have to be separate because
of how you can't fold fabrics and then meet again around the corner.
Right, it doesn't work.
You can't do like the circle and have that final fold.
Because it would be
folded.
A raw edge.
It would be a raw edge that would be sticking out. I'm sure somebody out there can figure out how to do a fold and a stitch and something, but it wouldn't look right because then there'd be a stitch where there's not supposed to be a stitch.
Exactly. So we're going to do the top and the bottom part of the pinwheel separate. Then we will piece the two pieces together in the sewing machine. So one seam.
Yep.
And then if you are doing pre-quilting, then we will take our finished pinwheel.
6-inch block. It's a pinwheel.
Yeah. And then we will actually quilt that.
We'll put that in a different hoop.
And we will quilt that. So those are the steps that we're going to be doing for this one. And so you will need a 5x7 hoop in order to complete the piecing portion of this. And then you will need a slightly larger hoop to do the quilting because that file is like almost 7 inch. So 6.5 by 6.5.
Yep. So we have our magnetic 5x7 here to get started with the piecing parts. And then I have the 7x12 magnetic ready to go as soon as we have that.
Exactly. And I always recommend that you lay your fabric pieces
in the order you need them.
Because it's really easy to
grab the wrong one.
Yeah. And some of them two of them are the same size. So it's really easy to get those mixed up. And if you do get them mixed up, then your pinwheel will look.
It won't look like a pinwheel.
Like a pinwheel. No.
Don't ask me how I might know that. But yeah, so the order is pink, white, peach.
Yes.
But that's about the only time I'll get that right. So I'm not going to attempt to keep repeating that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the first thing that we're going to do, we're just going to keep cream quilt thread.
Yep. It's a cream colored thread for the quilting piecing portion. And then we'll probably do the same thing for our quilting later. So
exactly.
It's that same color that we've been using. It's actually an isocord thread that we have here just because that's what we had over here and we started with it. So we're sticking with it so it all coordinates nicely together.
But it's basically a soft white instead of that stark white. I cannot talk all of a sudden.
I'm sorry.
White.
Should I scooch farther away?
You rubbed off on me.
I'm having some
tongue-tied
issues today.
So we're going to start, and this is going to do kind of like an outline of where all of your pieces are going to end up being. In previous versions of this, we've had a batting placement line.
Mm-hmm.
We've put our batting down. We've done the section, and then we quilted right over top of it, and then we sewed the two pieces together. That's not how the instructions are written in this particular version.
So we're going to follow the instructions and see how it goes.
Yes. So that's where we're at here. So this will just take a minute, and
this is like the map. So where each piece is going to go, so that you have an idea of what direction you're working in.
And from the best recollection that I have, wow.
We're skipping
It's going to do the bottom section first, and then it's going to do the top. So it's going to start actually doing the folded piecing right at the bottom instead of doing both
We're not hopping in the hoop. We're going to finish the bottom section, and then we'll basically start all over again and do it again.
Yeah, that is the word I was totally looking for, but it was not coming out. Wow, yes. I'm going to drink some more coffee.
That's okay. I'm drinking Mountain Dew because I'm thinking I need a little kick over here, and it's just not quite
right.
There. Okay, so...
I think 1 is at the top and 2 is at the bottom. And
They are
then
starting in an interesting place.
they are, right?
Okay, so it's this one
Yes.
that we're covering. So when you're doing this, your first piece, I feel backwards.
Does that help?
It's like this one.
Yeah, it's 1 and 2.
No, but
Yeah, I think you got to ignore that though.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Turn it this way. And that's the piece
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps. Now I know what angle I'm
The
at.
picture. Yeah.
All right, so this square down here, so all the way to the right on the top is the first piece. Wow, we're both rocking it right now.
Mhm.
So when you're doing this, the first piece is always pretty side up.
Yes.
Following that, then all of them are pretty side down and placed in the specific place that it shows you to do that in.
Correct.
So I just need to cover up that triangle that's in my little map,
Mhm.
and then we'll stitch the next pieces placement.
Right. And cut line.
In a cut line and a placement line. So if you probably notice, I'm not super straight. Doesn't matter as long as that triangle that was stitched in the original little map, key, legend, whatever you call yours, is covered, you are good. So should we go over here?
Yeah, I think at least for the first.
All right,
one.
so
And
here is my line. So that is my trim line and then my placement line. So the first thing I need to do is I need to trim and below that. So this is the square that I need that in. So don't cut that one.
right.
All right. And we're going to trim right on that line. Just like that. And then this one, we're going to turn pretty side down and we're going to place it right along that line. So my piece is slightly larger than the line, and I'm going to just center roughly those pieces so that I have an equal amount on each side. And then when I go to fold it, in theory, that should leave me then the right amount of fabric to cover the following placement.
Yes.
They did pre-tell you those sizes. You don't have to mathematically figure any of that out. All right, so pretty side is down and they are both, I have the cut edge and then the raw edge. We're going to tack that down and that will be approximately a 1/4 inch up from the last line that was stitched.
Yes.
Shinkya. Okay, so there are a couple different things that you can do at this point. If you have a mini iron, that would work. You can use that inside of your hoop. If you don't have that, one of our favorite tools is the fabric folding pen. And I am basically getting the stitch line wet. Okay. And I fold that back. And then I roll that piece. And that gives me a nice pressed line without actually needing an iron. And now I'm ready to come over here and get my next stitch line. That is really tight to that needle. There's not a lot of room down there. So that again is a trim and then a placement line. So the first thing that I do is trim off the fabrics that are below that line. So both colors. All right, so I have a new line there that I've used. And then I take my next piece of fabric, pretty side down, and again, center the edges, the overlay, if you will, kind of equal on both sides of that line so that you make sure that it's going to cover well and you're going to get all points. Okay.
gonna press that.
Again, either way is absolutely fine, but you do want, in my opinion, a little help. If you just pull it, you tend to have kind of a little bump in the middle. It doesn't lie as flat. All right, I've got that pressed over using the fabric folding pen in the roller.
You can really see the water in
You can see it much better on that color, yes, for sure. And then again, it's going to give me my next line. And we just keep repeating this. Cutting towards my hoop because it's really hard to get your scissors down when you're right next to that.
Especially when you have a magnetic hoop, right? They stick to the...
They do kind of cling to the edge.
Do you want to move these over by you? Would that be easier?
No, because I'll probably knock it over here.
I'll
So
hold them
it's
then.
safe over there. All right, so this one is going to flip this direction. So we want to make sure that we have our seam allowance in that so that there's going to be fabric everywhere. Again, I have found that as long as you center that piece on the line, I haven't usually run into an issue.
Nope, me either.
I can do it right here.
Yeah.
Now that they know what I'm doing. So we have a little bit of starch in our fabric folding pen. I find it works a little better than just plain water, but
Yeah. He has a little crisper seam.
not really a clean edge to cut from here.
No.
Both of them have a magnet. Okay, again, pretty sides going down, centered along that line. Back to the machine.
This actually moves pretty quick.
It does. I missed. I think we're okay though. We're covering everything
Yeah,
we
I
need.
think you're good.
Yep. Too many white lines.
Yeah.
I ordered a new pair of reading glasses. Maybe I need those. I'm like, it's not going. It's going to start all the way at the top and shoot its way to the corner over here. See. Okay. And we've got our peach. And back to the machine.
And
All right.
now it's going to go all the way around. This is going to be our cutting line.
Like, please come towards me. Doesn't catch. Oof. Nope, I missed that corner.
I think we'll be okay. Because if that's our
Seam
cutting
allowance.
line, then we still have a seam
Yep.
allowance in there. Yep.
Okay. All right. I am going to just trim this little bit here so that it's not in the way at all for the top stitch out. And here's our map for this other piece.
Yep.
Went pretty quickly.
Sure did.
So if in your head you were like, yeah, how do I know what order to put my pieces in?
I'm going to put on that one.
Yeah. There is a very, very specific chart that tells you exactly what it's going to do. So number 1 is a dark pink, 2 is the white, 3 is peach. Pink, white, peach. So you can just follow that and stack your pieces. I usually do them upside down and then I flip the whole thing over when I'm ready to go.
Exactly.
I find I have much less oopses
Yes.
if I do that.
So I think we are, I think pink is down below. So
Yeah. That one.
yeah, turn that sideways just to bear. Yep, down at the bottom. That makes sense. Yeah, I think it's going to be that way.
Yep.
So peach is down there. I mean, pink
Pink.
is down there. Yes, pink, peach. All right.
It's going to go this way.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I'm quick draw McGraw over here. So have you found any wonderful use for your scraps from this kind of thing? These little tiny triangles?
No.
I always save them thinking, oh, so actually a lot of fabric.
I know.
And then I look at them and I'm like, what in God's name am I going to do
So
with those?
I made a quilt that had another quilt that was basically just all like half square triangles and flying geese. And I had an entire bag full of these like triangles that I kept for 3 years in this bag, and I moved it.
Thinking that you're
And
going
I moved
to...
it. And I was like, what am I? I'm never going to sew all of these pieces together. I finally just got rid of them. I was like, no.
You know, they're too small for an applique in the hoop thing. I mean,
yeah.
almost specifically, there's just no use from that perspective. So unless you have a mind to do some mini quilting and sewing random pieces together,
Yep.
That's the only thing that I can really come up with that would...
Yeah, there are some people, they sew like pet beds and they stuff them with the fabric
fabrics.
So sometimes if I know somebody who's interested in that, I will save my scraps for a little while and pass them along to that. But yeah, I thought, wouldn't...
I was just curious. I hadn't come up with anything, so I was curious if you had.
I'm always, like, I watch, like, YouTube videos or something, and I see people being, like, all thrifty with their scraps. Like, some people just sewing them on batting, like, just doing, like, a flip and sew kind of thing. And I think, oh, it's so cute, right?
The reality of life.
The reality is I have 90 other projects that I want to do. I don't have the patience to stop for a scrappy version of something I already did. And I find that your scraps can take over your entire room if you don't.
Can take up a lot of space,
right? Almost
you know,
as
and
much.
then it's like, you know, do you sort them by color? And now you've got these tiny pieces that you're taking all that time, and it's ugh. I was just curious because I've never really.
No, not come up with anything perfect. I do sort my scraps by color. Like I just have baskets that they go in. And every now and then, I have an AccuQuilt that I don't use very often, but every now and then I will take some
Just
of the
cut.
scraps, and I have like the basic dies, you know, like some strips and things for like log cabin kind of things, and I will just cut the pieces so that they fit those things. So I have scrap pieces that I could use, or scrap
Right.
pieces that I can pass along for somebody who
I
wants
got
to do
that
something.
roll of stabilizer that you could do specifically what we
Yeah.
were talking, you know,
Yeah.
put a piece down and then fold fabric over,
Exactly.
you know, and then just keep doing that until you have a strip of fabric that's
Yeah.
on the stabilizer. But
I haven't done it.
I haven't done it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of wiggle room on that one.
No. But you can see this goes pretty quick.
So
Then you have enough fabric to make 2 of these. So if you are going to complete the quilt, you will need, once you're finished with this, you will need to do everything that we're going to be doing today a second time.
second time.
Yeah. I don't think it would be worth it to do, like, to double this in a hoop. I think it would just be more hassle.
I think it would be confusing, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, well, and just a longer reach of everything. I think it would just make it easier. You're probably just better off doing. Now, maybe if you had a big hoop and you wanted to do the quilting part all together, that would be fine, because it's really just placement of that. But I don't know that I would do this piecing part.
See, I think that's what happened is the stitch line doesn't go all the way over here.
Oh, because it's this one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually quite short.
Yeah.
And my brain said I needed to cover
over
that whole
there.
thing, so I slit it.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what happened, because I thought, oh, I cut the stitches, but I didn't.
No, because it's that little piece in the corner.
Last one. So the bed of your machine works very well. Bees everywhere.
No, not on this one, can ya? Last trim for the last little fabric piece. The Container Store is having a sale.
Well, what are we doing here? Wait, is it an actual store or is it just online?
No, there's actually one in Novi.
Is there one?
Yeah.
God, that would be a dangerous store to go
Oh, it is. Yes. Yeah.
in. Just yes.
Yeah,
Just
it
yep.
definitely is. They got every sort of thing imaginable.
I mean, I've bought quite a bit online.
Yeah.
But I've never been in the store.
Yeah.
You like containers. They're very dangerous. You never have enough. Last one.
It's like the third hobby, right? Collecting fabrics and then sewing them, and then buying containers to organize them. Or your craft supplies, whether it might not just be sewing. It could be anything.
I mean, the buttons, the snaps, the zippers,
right.
So many different things. Second time's the charm.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
we're done with this part. Now we're going to need to trim these. So I think you just completed step number 12.
Mm-hmm. Trim the fabric 1/4 inch from the tack down line. That's. Oh, it is the stitch. The way they word that, it doesn't make a lot of sense in my opinion. It
Yeah.
says stitch the final tack down line and then trim 1/4 inch from the tack down line. But that line is the cut line. That is not.
Right. Go to the next page. Next page.
Says trim 1/4 inch from that. But that's not.
Is it on the inside or
Oh,
the
it's
outside?
probably because we're gonna need them for lining things up in the when we're sewing it.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I don't know either.
Okay. We're both like, what?
What? All right. You want a little rotary cutter and a ruler?
Yeah, I think there's one right there in front of you.
Yeah, there is. Okay.
Where was this hoop?
What's that?
Where was this hoop?
Sitting on the front counter.
I looked all over for it the other day. Couldn't find it.
Ah. Probably didn't look there.
I did not look on the front counter. I did not.
But I'll put it behind us on the hook because that's
Sounds
a
perfect.
better place for it.
All right.
And I'm going to get the other line design loaded.
Perfect. Actually, don't we need the sewing?
Yes, we do. So I will change the foot.
All right, so the directions say to cut 1/4 inch from that final stitch line. So that's what I'm doing, but it's actually not the sewing line that is here. So I'm not sure. Hopefully it will become clear as we go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not feeling much clarity at the moment.
All will be revealed, right?
Well, and if it's not right, maybe we should shoot somebody a message. It says, you got a typo. All right, so there's one. Lighting over here is so phenomenal. Okay, I did what I was told. Some of these are, here we go. That's what that's going to look like.
I don't think that's right. Keep turning. There you go.
That's where I had it.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how else I can put that. Okay, so we are going to take part A and take part B.
You want a couple pins?
Sure.
Pin that center.
But we need to stitch. Good Lord. I'm just feeling.
You can put a pin like along the seam there
Yeah.
and then fold it open just to double check that we have it right.
So we definitely need to stitch on this line for sure.
That looks good.
So.
Yep.
But it doesn't actually look like those points are. If I line that up, doesn't that look,
It's not bad.
is that all right?
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. Do you want the needle position in the center to sew that, or do you want it in 1/4 inch?
I'm just making sure I'm, you know, my 1/4 inch from my ruler was actually the 1/4 inch from. Looks okay. Okay. I don't get a foot control.
You want to focus on this? I have the needle in 1/4 inch. Are you going to center?
Yeah.
Here it is. Do you want it?
It's fine. I can use this
You
is
sure?
just one seam.
Okay.
I'm gonna go very slow because I got pins in here. I don't usually have pins. All right. I am where I need to be.
So you're sewing on the line.
I
that
am
we
sewing
stitched.
on this line, which is actually a 1/2 inch if you're, which I'm at.
Yep.
So I guess that means I'm good, but, okay, that's too slow. That's better. Do, 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 do. All right. Look at that.
Looks good. Yeah, good job.
All right. Over here. So we've got our piece sewn. And we've also got a very large seam.
Yeah, you're probably going to want to press that open.
Yep, I think we're gonna need to go do that for sure. But that is my block. So
Okay, I'll go back to embroidery while
you
wanna
go back to embroidery while I
press
go
that?
and press.
Okay.
Yeah, pause.
Yep.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
wanna pull it
So
down here?
yep, I can do that. I think I said that it was a 6x6 design earlier. It is actually a 4x4 quilting design. This is pretty small, so it's going to end up being, so this is 4.5 by 4.5. So you would still be able to do this in a 5x7 hoop.
If you would like.
We have this in a really large hoop, and that is just because that's what we put together.
I already had it ready, so we're just gonna
Right.
do our thing. That works.
Not good?
Sure.
I can go down further.
No, 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 it's fine.
Okay. So we just slid it down.
Split it down a little bit so
So-
we're not reaching up at the top.
Right. You have a chunk of batting?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and we still have our white thread in, so I'll go ahead and do the placement line.
It's a little slower than I thought it was gonna be.
Me too.
It's not perfect.
It's pretty good. That's
It's not
really
bad.
good. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of fabric in the center. Pinwheels are hard to get
To
down
point
there.
out just where you want.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Not bad
but-
at all, especially when you aren't able to like press each seam open and
And get where you need to be.
right or
I didn't prep this part, sorry.
All right. I don't know if we actually ever said what batting we're using. This is our white
Quilters.
Quilter's Dream, and it is the Select, which is not the thinnest. It's like their midweight, and it is an 80-20.
Ours.
Yeah. So 80% cotton, 20% polyester. Okay, now we're just going to trim that excess batting off.
There's a little excess.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay. There we go. Piece of batting. Now this time, you want this.
Yep, you're going to want to know where to put that fabric.
I wish they gave you a line.
Yeah,
That would help.
it would.
But technically that's going to be bigger than that line because of the extra.
Forgot to change the camera.
So we did the placement line for the fabric. I'm going to just keep pulling it out of position. So we're going to actually hold that for just a sec.
So we're just folding it back to kind of match that line because it's kind of hard to tell.
So I am looking for this outside stitch line to line up with the outline that we just stitched. So that looks pretty good. Don't move. Come on, little sucker. Can tell I don't use tape much. I don't have tape skills. All right.
Should be good.
I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully we're centered because I'm going to be annoyed if. All right. So if your stitch line here does not line up with your stitch line here,
You might want to pop that out.
you might want to start over and restitch until you're happy with the placement.
Ours looks pretty good.
It looks
Yeah,
pretty
good job.
close.
Good job.
So when you fold up those corners, you make a square
Yep.
and you want it to be a whole square.
Yeah.
So that's basically all I did is I folded the corner until it was, don't fold it at an angle, fold so you make a square.
Right.
And then line up your points. And in theory, if the diagonals line up, then everything should be, and we're close. I'm just a hair off, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Good enough for who it's for.
Well, and some of that will depend upon your seam. If your seam is a little bigger or wider or smaller,
Right.
the whole block will be a little bit wider in one direction than it is taller.
That is fair. Absolutely. All right. So, and the nice thing is there's nothing here in the quilting file that's going to show center.
Right.
So you could still trim it so that your seam is going to be where, you know, you could
Exactly.
measure out from the center 2 1/4 and 2 1/4 to trim when you actually get rid of the excess.
Absolutely.
If you
Want to. Or
are
you need
like,
to.
holy crap, I did really bad, then, you know, you could go that route.
Yeah.
So again, we still have in our nice off soft white, which is perfect for this. You can see it a little bit more on that dark pink, but it looks really good with the others. And nothing wrong with seeing a little bit.
No.
That's the whole point on something like this. So
So we just did one, but you're going to want to make two
make
of
a second
these.
one. Absolutely. So there you go.
That
This
is
is
your
cute.
May block. Yeah, super cute, little pinwheel. And if you ever wondered what perfectly pieced was like,
It's kind
this
of
is
like that.
it.
I don't know that I've made one in 2 pieces, but I haven't made that. I've only made like, oh, I really like that one.
Yep.
I have them all.
Yeah. There definitely were some at the beginning that were in 2 pieces.
Was it? Okay.
Yep. Except for they did quilting on the pieces and then you sewed it together with slightly
Gotcha.
different version of this.
Little
At
bit
least
different.
the couple that I made, they may have evolved. I haven't done any recently.
Yeah, I think I bought all of them. Actually, there was 1 month that I was like,
No.
I'm never going to use that, and so I didn't, because I don't remember what it was, but there was
Right.
something like, I don't like that, or I already have it.
Right.
One or the other. I don't remember, but this is not one of those.
Yes.
So this is super cute. Came out really nice, and it's got cute little snails and what is that? Caterpillar and a mushroom.
Yep.
Very, very cute quilting. So bonus all the way around.
Yeah.
So do you want to show that
Yeah.
real quick? That is our cute little block.
Yeah. So cute.
So I
So
still
cute.
have some tape on there just because it was easier to leave it alone. But there you go.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for the May Digital Dealer. I don't know what
We
August
haven't
is
even seen
yet. May,
except,
June,
as I
July.
say,
I
August is a little ways away.
Yeah.
August. We're just gonna skip ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
In
May.
my mind, June and July are just
We're-
shop hops. So
We're done. We're not doing anything other than that. So yeah. So yeah, that's what we've got. All we've got for now. And as always, if you have questions, you can give us a buzz. But I think this is pretty straightforward.
yeah.
So have a great one. See you next time.